This week, SPUCtv has been at the ARC conference in London. The Alliance for Responsible Citizenship brings together thousands of people from across the world, interested in and concerned for the social, the economic, the cultural, and the spiritual well-being of Western civilization. We've had a chance to speak to some fascinating people while we've been here. We've talked to Katie Faust of Them Before Us, David B. Wright of the Life Leadership Conference, Erin Brownback of Students for Life America, John Wesley Reid, a consultant working with Live Action, Gudrun Kugler, the Austrian MP, Gordon MacDonald of Care Not Killing. So in the coming weeks, we will be releasing all of those interviews. But in the meantime, here is just a flavour.
There seem to be a group of people around the world now who are discontented with the way Western civilization is travelling. And they are trying to remedy it. And I think it very much parallels the challenge that SPUC has. We realise it's something that's gone far wrong in a society that effectively wants to commit suicide. It seems to be doing it in so many levels, so many areas. And it's been picked up by so many people about what's happening in academia, what's happening in business, what's happening in governments. But at the heart of it, a society that chooses to kill its own progeny, to kill the elderly when they're weak, there's something deeply wrong in that. So the pro-life movement, I think, is a key part of the jigsaw. And I think there's a lot of fellow travellers here and who must be open to hearing why, if you move away from recognising the dignity of every human being from the beginning, that's where it starts to go wrong.
The problem is they're not really thinking about what we're actually talking about here now. What are we actually saying when this happens? What we're saying is that the law then has to give doctors, or in Canada also nurse practitioners, then the right and law to kill you. That's what it does. And so with assisted suicide, like the Leadbeater bill, it was a little bit different, but almost the same. But the point is that, they had to come to the reality of what are we actually talking about? And so we respond by saying, well, all these terrible things are happening with euthanasia in Canada and in other places like the Netherlands and Belgium because of the fact that you've said it's okay to kill. And once you've said that, now you've actually crossed the only line in the sand that exists, which is, I can't kill you.
It's been a seismic shift because most of this has happened in the last 5 to 10 years. We've seen this radical shift, which is causing us to have to rethink how we solve the crisis of abortion because it's being delivered in a very different way. So I think that's going to open up for us a very provocative and dynamic discussion, but also it's going to cause all of us to have to really wrestle with how are we going to solve these new challenges that are very daunting.
It says on the websites that they can order them up to 14, 15, 16 weeks into pregnancy. So, they're months and months into pregnancy. And I know there's many well-known cases here in the UK where they're taking them 24 weeks, 33 weeks. They're taking them far into pregnancy.
Because you've lost all control over the gestational age.
Exactly. So nobody is checking when you order these pills. You don't have to prove that you're pregnant. You don't have to show how far along you are in pregnancy. Nobody is checking to see what your RH status is, to see will these pills cause you to be sterilized if you take them in the future? Or if you sterilized in the future if you take them now? Nobody's checking to see if you have an ectopic pregnancy. And very importantly, no one is checking to see if you're a woman.
We have to ask ourselves, what sort of society do we want to live in? Do we want to see people as disposable? Do we want to see the value of life undermined? Or do we say that people have an inherent dignity and an inherent value, and we should be supporting them and respecting that right up to the natural end?
This is why natural law is so important. This is why theology and bioethics are so important. Some people say, well, that's too academic. It's like, well, it is academic, but it's not too academic. You learned chemistry in high school. You learned anatomy and physiology. You learned some calculus, some really complicated stuff. You should be just as concerned and capable of learning natural law and bioethics, because you know what? It is as complicated as those other things, but the ramifications are literally life and death. Literally life and death, right? So if we can train people to understand natural law, to understand what are basic truths and why we believe them, my hope is that it will kind of cancel out this apathy that has had a lethal effect.
As well as our one-to-one interviews here in the SPUC ARC studio, Ben Weller has been out and about on the conference floor, all around the coffee bars, speaking to the next generation of pro-life leaders.
So you join me at a very hot ARC conference in London where we are going around asking young people why the right should care about abortion.
Well, I think that's a question that's not limited to the right. I think it's a moral question for people of all beliefs and all spectrums.
1/3 of our generation has been slaughtered in the womb. People are always quick to talk about genocide happening, but they're refusing to talk about the genocide that is happening around the world. I mean, so many young lives have been lost even before they've had the chance to step foot on this earth.
Well, I think people on the right really should care about abortion because God cares about abortion. God loves life, and I believe as people, we should also care about what God cares about. So yeah, from a Christian perspective, I think we need to defend the unborn and have a pro-life position.
So that's us at the end of our amazing and very, very productive and fascinating time at ARC 2026. We hope to be back here at ARC in 2027 or beyond, and we hope you'll join us whenever that is. Thanks very much for watching.